Hey guys, for today's video we are going to be trying out the Nomad Cosmetics Antilles palette, and what really drew me into trying out this palette today was the packaging. Like, I seriously cannot get over how stinking cute it is. It is definitely like a summer kind of beachy tropical vibe. It's cute little flamingo on it, hibiscus flowers, and even like a little coconut drink. I just think it is so stinking cute. But you guys know me, what really catches my eye though are color stories in a palette. It's not always packaging, but this one, like, do you see how much of a rainbow goodness this is? Like, you get so many different colors and you get so many different textures. I just think it is so pretty, and I really wanted to see what I could come up with using it today. Off camera, I did apply my eyeshadow primer, and now I'm just going to set it using a skin tone colored eyeshadow just to get rid of some of that tackiness. So the first shade that we are going to use out of this palette is called Happy Island. It is kind of like a matte yellowy green shade. And then with this shade, I'm going to be applying it into my crease and blending it upwards towards my brow bone. This is going to be acting as our transition shade. I'm just going to start building this color up as well, since it did apply just a little sheer, the first layer, but again I am using a fluffy brush, so they don't apply like super crazy pigmented either when using this style of brush, but it seems like it's building up really well actually. So the next shade that I am going to go into is called Glistening Waters. It's kind of like a lighter blue shade. And then with this Glistening Water shade, I'm going to be applying it into my crease and into my outer V. And I'm just trying to make like a really nice kind of lighter green shade with this one. So I'm just doing like little circular motions to blend it into that yellow shade. And I also want to mention, if you have never noticed me do this, when I apply things into my crease, I kind of like tilt my head back just a little bit. Like, you don't want to see like in your nose like all the way, but you just like a little bit. You just want like kind of a slight tilt. And with doing this, you will be able to push your brush a lot easier into your crease, and also you will be able to see what you're doing a little bit better. Because if you're applying into your crease and you look forward, you see how my brush, it applies product onto my lid as well as above my crease, which is not what we are looking for. So if you tilt your head just a little bit back, it'll make it so much easier for you. And to help me blend things together a little bit more, I'm just taking a little bit more of that yellow shade, again on that brush that we used earlier, and I'm just doing like little circular motions, just to help kind of create that green for me, as well as kind of blend everything out a little bit better. So once you have everything blended out, the next shade that I'm going to go into is called Grace Bay. And using that same brush, I'm just going to be applying it into my crease and into my outer V. I'm just doing like little circular motions as well. I just want to say though, these shadows are blending out so nicely. Like, seriously, they are blending out like a dream. I will say though, you do have to build up some of the shadows just a little bit, but other than that, it's really honestly really beautiful. And for me personally, I don't mind building up my shadows. You guys know that. Like, it's not a deal breaker for me as long as I can blend them out and I don't have like chalky looking eyes. But man, this is like a really nice blend. I'm really impressed with them so far. And next, using this itty bitty blending brush, I'm now going to go into Curacao Nights. And then with this shade, I'm going to be applying it into my crease and into my outer V. I've never used this brush before, but I thought it would be really fun to try it out because I love a good tiny little brush. This one is a Sigma E36 blending brush. So tiny. I've never seen a blending brush this small, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's like really getting like right in my crease, which is perfect. Not to mention this purple is really, really pigmented. Because if you are not familiar with like using purples, they can do you dirty real quick. Like, purple shades are probably like the worst, and especially like blues and stuff like that, because like they can either get like really patchy and chalky looking and not really that pigmented, and then there's ones that are like super awesome. There's never like an in-between. But man, this one's really, really nice. And to help me blend the purple into the blue, I'm just taking whatever is left on that brush that we had the blue on and just going right over that harsh line. Doing like little circular motions, just going right over that edge. Low-key, that little brush isn't doing it for me, so what I'm going to do is mix that deeper blue shade in with the purple. I'm doing like a 1-to-1 ratio on that brush that we originally had the blue on, and then I'm just going to be applying that directly into my crease. I just feel like that little brush just wasn't like giving me that pigmentation of the purple that I was looking for. It's just way too little of color. So I just went into this bigger fluffy brush, and I just think it looks a lot better. But I just think this is such a pretty combination. But yeah, so here is where I'm at right now with the look, and honestly, I think it is super cool. It is definitely not what I was going for originally, but either way, I think it looks awesome. And then off camera, I am going to cut my crease using my absolute favorite concealer, which is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair. So here's where I'm at right now after cutting the crease, and my concealer is 100% dry, and the next shade that we are going to go into is called Diamond Waterfalls. And with this brush dampened, I'm just going to be applying this anywhere that the concealer is showing. I actually expected that to be a shimmer. Is that a matte? Because on my finger it looks kind of shimmery. Let's see if it... I feel like I'm going crazy because I thought that was a shimmer. Either way, that's actually a really pretty like light purple. I do want to mention though that Diamond Waterfall shade is actually a satin finish and not a shimmer shade. That was completely my fault. It's still super pretty though on the lid. The purple on the lid is super pretty, but for me personally, I just feel like I need some like shimmer or something. I just feel like this look just kind of needs it. So I'm actually going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm going to go in with this purple horseshoe shade. And with that brush that we applied the purple with originally, I'm just going to go in with it dampened. I'm just packing that right on top of the lid shade. I mean, the look was really pretty, but for me, I just feel like I need like different textures when I do makeup. Like, if I do like an all matte look, it's fine, but like sometimes like I just like something a little bit different. Like I like a little bit of shimmer on the lid. You see what I mean though? I just kind of added like a little bit of something. It's like a cherry on ice cream. You don't need it, but it really adds a lot. And to get rid of that harsh line of the cut crease, I'm just taking that matte purple shade, that deeper one, and I'm just really packing it on that harsh line in the outer third of my eye. I'm like packing it and then flicking it inwards. I do want to show you guys something, but I am having a little bit of a problem getting these shadows to stick just a little bit in my outer V. So what I'm going to do is barely push up my skin. I don't really always show you guys this, but I'm taking my finger, lightly pulling it up so I can see a little bit better, and I'm packing the shade right on that line. I'm mixing it in with a little bit of that dark blue, just to see if I can get it to work a little bit better. But as you can see, like it just kind of gets, like, it doesn't want to stick right here on the top portion of, kind of by that cut crease. Right in here. It does stick a little bit over in here, but just not up there, and I don't know why it's not doing that. Sometimes purples though are super finicky, so that could be why too. Or it could be because my skin's being weird. I do want to show you guys, I am having the same problem on the other side of my eye, and I'm going to again pull up my skin just a little bit. You don't want to do it really hard because otherwise you will cause wrinkles, and I know I'm going to look super stupid. And then you want to make sure that you don't grab your brow either. I'm just going to pull up, look down a little bit, and then pack that shade on. I'm really like pressing it into the skin too. And you can see like right here towards the top of my crease, it's just not wanting to stick to my skin. I mean, it's not like super not sticking to my skin, but it's definitely a little noticeable. But yeah, so here is where I'm at right now with the look. It is super cool in my opinion. And then off camera, I'm just going to apply the rest of my face, like foundation and all of that. So here's where I'm at right now with the look. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just going to take a little bit of that gray space shade again, that darker blue shade. I'm just going to run it right underneath my lower lashes. And then for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to go back into my Moonchild Glow Kit and dip into Blue Ice. And then with this shade, I'm just going to pack the shit out of it in my inner corner and underneath my inner tear duct area to really open up the eye. I really wish that this palette would have like an inner corner highlight, but it doesn't. I think that's what it's really missing, is it really is missing like two like lighter shades that you could use in like the inner corner or on the lid. I feel like it would really go well with this palette. But yeah, so here is the finished look using the Nomad Cosmetics Antilles palette, and I actually really enjoy how this look turned out. I think it's really cool. Definitely not what I was planning to do today. Originally, I was going to do kind of like a rainbow on the lid, but when I got to that point, I just wasn't really inspired to do that, and I'm really happy that I actually went this route because I think it's super pretty. But with that said, I do want to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions about this palette. First of which, let's go over the eyeshadow formula, which is definitely the most important. And the only shadow that I had some issues with was Curacao Nights, right here, the deep matte purple. I had some issues with it sticking to my skin in my outer V area. It would get super patchy and kind of chunky looking. However, when I did mix it in with this deeper blue shade right here, I didn't have as many issues, especially in the crease too. It just seemed like it performed better when I mixed the two. One thing that I do want to mention though about the formula of these eyeshadows is they are the type that you have to build them up. For me personally, I don't mind doing that because I feel like formulas like that are just a lot easier to blend out. However, if you want like that bam pigmentation like instantly, you may not be happy with this palette. For me personally, I don't mind building up my shadows. I think with these shadows, it took about 2 to 3 kind of applications to get them to look like they do in the pan. For me, that's not a big deal, but if you don't like doing that, you may not be happy with this palette. I do want to show you guys this, but I've only used this palette once and swatched maybe like 5 of the shades. That's all I've touched it. And as you can see, like some of the embossing is already coming off some of the shadows. which is kind of a bummer, and I just wanted to show you guys that. I will say though, I do feel like this palette is missing a couple of shades. I feel like it's missing like an inner corner highlight type of shade, especially something like maybe like a light bluish purple shade and maybe like a champagne-y shade. And for me, I feel like there's way too many pinks and way too many blues. When you really look at this palette, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pinks and 1, 2, 3, 4 blues. And if it was my palette, I would remove one of the blues and one of the pinks and add those two kind of really lighter shimmery shades, which would be perfect for an inner corner highlight or like on the lid, and I feel like it would just really complement this palette well. Packaging wise though of this palette, I think it is just amazing. I think it is just so cute. It's literally perfect for summer with the kind of flamingo in the front, with the gold text, with the baby blue. I just think it's adorable. And when you do open up this palette, I think it's amazing that they did include a mirror. It is kind of a small mirror for the size of the palette, but either way they did include one, which is nice. And they also did include the shade names underneath the shadows, which I really do appreciate. One thing that I do want to share with you guys that I just saw that is on the back of the palette, it says that this palette was designed on location island hopping in the Caribbean, which I think is just super cute. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend this palette to you guys? And honestly, I feel like this palette is just so stinking cute. I really enjoy the packaging and I really enjoy the color story. Granted, you guys know me, I'm a huge sucker for colorful eyeshadows, so this one is up my alley. I do want to say though, if you like a matte transition shade, that you are definitely going to have to use this one in conjunction with another palette, or if you like a blinding inner corner highlight. Because for me personally, I really enjoy that blinding inner corner, so I do have to use it in conjunction with another palette. However, if you are not up for that, then you definitely would not have to do that. But with all of that said, I do want to share with you guys some swatches of this palette. Secret Harbor, Blue Lagoon, Grace Bay, El Floridita, Curacao Nights, Champagne Reef, Glistening Waves, Playa Flamenco, I can't pronounce that one correct, 7 Mile Beach, Diamond Waterfalls, Happy Islands, The Bats, Pink Sand Beach, Mahogany Beach, Rum Punch. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this look, and as always, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below, and if you would like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and until next time, bye!